Check out my other channel, My Amazing Mind, for preschool learning. ABCs, numbers, colors, and shapes.
Snow White was growing weaker every day, her life slowly fading under the heavy curse placed upon her. Seeing her struggle, Cinderella asked the fairy godmother for help. The fairy godmother said, "She can be saved only if we get the golden glowing flower. This map will lead you," she continued, handing over a shimmering scroll, "to a secret garden hidden deep inside the forest. There you will find magical flowers and trees that talk. But beware, do not listen to the trees, for they are mischievous and may trick you. In the cave inside the magical garden, there is a flower that can break Snow White's curse. Bring it back before 3 sunsets pass." Cinderella, determined and brave, nodded firmly. "I promise I will not fail." Together, she and the 7 dwarfs began their long journey. They walked through valleys where sparkling fireflies lit their path at night and rested under star-lit skies. Days passed, and finally, after 2 full days of traveling deep into the enchanted forest, they reached the hidden magical garden. The garden glowed like a dream. Enormous flowers swayed gently, their petals shining in brilliant blues, pinks, and golds. Talking trees stood tall, their faces carved naturally into the bark. Birds with rainbow feathers sang soft and chanting songs. Cinderella's heart pounded as she remembered the fairy godmother's warning. "Do not listen to the trees." But as she walked deeper into the garden, a tall tree with pink leaves caught her attention. Its eyes sparkled kindly and it smiled sweetly. "What are you searching for, child?" the tree asked. "I seek the golden flower," Cinderella replied cautiously. "My dear friend Snow White's life depends on it." "Ah, the golden flower! It is not here among these fields. It grows inside the cave, where a witch nurtures it with her magic light. But don't worry, she has already gone for the day. You are safe to take it now." Cinderella, believing the tree's words, hurried with the dwarves into the cave. The inside was dark and eerie, but tiny fireflies floated like lanterns, guiding the way. At the very center, blooming on a stone pedestal, was the most radiant lotus she had ever seen, glowing golden, surrounded by a swirl of shimmering green light. With careful hands, Cinderella plucked the flower. Joyful, she stepped out of the cave, only to feel a strange gaze upon her. High above, from the tall tower with no doors, someone was watching. A girl with impossibly long golden hair let her braid tumble down. She called out, "Climb up!" Cinderella climbed the golden locks while the dwarves stayed below. At the top, she met Rapunzel, whose eyes were filled with sorrow. "The witch took me from my parents when I was a baby," she whispered. "I have never seen them. I am trapped here forever." Cinderella's heart ached. "I promise I will help you escape." But dawn was breaking, and suddenly the dwarves gasped from below. "The witch is coming!" They hid quickly behind the trees. Rapunzel urged Cinderella to hide under the table. The witch, cloaked in black, called from below, "Rapunzel, let down your hair." Cinderella trembled. "The tree said she only comes at noon. Why is she here now?" Rapunzel's face darkened. "The trees lied. She comes every night." The witch climbed up and questioned Rapunzel about her day, her eyes sharp with suspicion. After some time, she left to check the golden flower in the cave. Once the witch was gone, Rapunzel whispered urgently, "Go, before she finds out!" Cinderella and the dwarves raced out, but it was too late. The witch found the flower missing and grew furious. She demanded answers from the talking trees. Eager to please her, they told her everything. The witch swooped down, catching Cinderella and the dwarves in her grasp. She dragged them back and locked them in the tower with Rapunzel. With a cruel laugh, she snatched the flower. "You foolish girl," the witch hissed. "This flower is mine. Snow White will never escape her fate." Cinderella pleaded, "Please, only 3 days remain. Let me save her." But the witch only laughed louder, her voice echoing through the night. The next morning, before leaving, the witch warned Rapunzel, "If you help them escape, you will suffer. The trees will tell me." She then locked the golden flower in a glass box and flew away. Once the witch was gone, Rapunzel's hands trembled as she opened the glass box and returned the flower to Cinderella. She revealed a hidden spiral staircase inside the tower. "The witch watches my hair, but she does not know of this secret passage. You can escape unseen." She led Cinderella and the dwarfs down to the bottom of the tower. "Go quickly," Rapunzel urged. Cinderella begged her, "Come with us. You should be free too. You should be with your parents." Rapunzel shook her head, tears in her eyes. "I am too afraid. The world beyond the tower. I cannot." "Fear only vanishes when you take the first step," Cinderella said gently. "Your parents are waiting, and the world is more beautiful than you can imagine." Rapunzel hesitated, then nodded. Hand in hand with Cinderella, she stepped out of the garden. With each step, her fear lessened, until at last she stood free beneath the open sky. She smiled through tears. "Thank you." The dwarves and Cinderella hurried onward, for only 3 days remained to save Snow White. Rapunzel, still trembling with fear, crossed the magical garden, but once she stepped beyond its edge, joy filled her heart as she saw a nearby village for the first time. Meanwhile, Cinderella rushed to Prince Charming's castle. She gave the golden flower to him, and the fairy godmother appeared once more. With a wave of her wand, the flower transformed into a glowing green potion. She said softly, "Give this to Snow White." Prince Charming held Snow White close and poured the potion gently past her lips. Slowly, her pale cheeks filled with color, her eyes fluttered open, and she became young and radiant again. Snow White gasped softly, I feel alive." Cinderella, the dwarves, and the prince rejoiced, and so, together, they celebrated the victory of courage, friendship, and hope, while far away, the witch's angry cries echoed in the dark forest. But for now, happiness had won.
More magical episodes to come. Support by subscribing to my channel.